Yeah, Yike kind of likes it when his solo lanes say, I'll play an AD champ. He'll just find an AP carry to slot into it.
Certainly does. G2 prioritizing the Annie, the Recon. See if they want to ban the Malphite again, or if it's the Vi that they're more concerned about.
Yeah, there's the Malphite taken away from Broken Blade and Caps now. We saw the same kind of ban from G2 as well on the blue side. I mean, even if Maokai's down, he's played Elise. We've seen his Gragas now. His Lilia was something which was a massive standout towards the start of the split as well. So last ban here for G2. What is their option? I think maybe a cannon ban actually. So the Jace is up. I think G2 won't hesitate to pick that up. Wukong is up, Vi is up, Xayah is up. You've got all the ADs as well. So it depends on what they prioritize here. Just see if we can get... I mean, maybe Koi has two options here. Index and bot, index on the top side of the map. Make it show the top side is more stable, or try to force a different dynamic in the game.
It's essentially
the Varus, you know?
Two choices. Yeah, it's the Varus or the Jace. The Xayah is also up and available.
So they take the Jace, it looks like. And that's going to be their plan of action. I wouldn't be surprised to see them pick up jungle and mid on the 2-3 as well. Sejuani feels like a pretty powerful champ. See if Malphite can get his hands on it, or if Yike wants to take that away. Does G2 have any flexes here on red side? Cassante is one that comes to mind, but not sure if that's something G2 want to look for.
How aggressive do they want to play too? Giving away the Varus is always going to be feels bad. They were really happy with the Gragas. It is still, you know, a multi-role flex pick for the team. So in terms of not showing too much here, I think grabbing the Gragas again.
Yeah. Gragas
alongside the Varus. Yeah. Easy first rotation for G2.
Keep it simple. Run it back from last game. Keep the Gragas flex. And Hans seemed very happy on the Varus. Can be flexible with the on hit. Can be flexible with the poke. Now Koi, I think they need. I mean, they had decent engage last time. The question is.
Say it with me. Say it with me, Caedrel. Jarvan.
Malrang's Jarvan. Yeah, mobile
unstoppable
Varus.
When he ults. Yeah. Interrupt the Gragas ult. Immobile 80 carry on the enemy team. This is Jarvan prime time.
Could be a Zeri Lulu here if they want to.
That would be indexing in the bot lane. That would actually just be sacking, really more than anything, mid lane, assuming the Jace isn't put there, as well as jungle to just say that, hey, we want a premier priority bot lane. And Zeri Lulu is still incredibly strong.
It is. I mean, there's a looming threat of something like a Blitzcrank coming out from Mickey, a Thresh, a Nautilus, some kind of hook champ if you pick the Lulu here.
Yeah.
Could go for something like the Ahri, but then Lissandra gets picked up on 3 by Caps. So G2 have answers to what Koi blind pick here, but they should keep the Jace flex alive, I think, and match jungle here and then drop support. That'll be the easiest option. But no, they're going to go for the Lulu. So now does G2 pick up some kind of hook champ? There is 3 open, Nautilus, Blitz, and Thresh. They can leave it till 4 pick if they want to pick up a power pick here. But if they do that, they'll kill the Gragas flex in the 3 roles that it can go into on the top side of the map for G2.
Matching bot lane does not feel like a bad choice here for G2. It will mean that some of the solo lane champion pools get pinched a little bit more, and it's going to be the Nautilus now picked up. One of the hook champs that you talked about, and certainly one that Mickey has made a name for himself on. Also, in general, I think just the most powerful hook champ in the meta. Blitzcrank a little unreliable, Thresh a little unreliable. Nautilus feels like you always get something out of the pick.
I think a Vi ban from Koi doesn't hurt too much, does it, when they're playing Nautilus against Zeri already? If they put this Gragas top or mid and play Vi jungle, I think the Zeri is going to struggle to kite in team fights when she's already got a point-and-click CC coming her way. Make it 2 with the Vi. There's the Jarvan ban onto Malrang. They know his champ pool. They know they want to shut down these
the second they can't pick Thresh anymore, the Jarvan becomes a threat. Taking that out. Yasuo now going to follow as well, taking away that combo. I think that does make a ton of sense there.
Yeah, Elise is still open as well. We'll see what G2 decides. I mean, they're happy. Just worst case, plan C, Gragas goes jungle.
Yeah, and I would really love to see an Elise in the hands of Malrang, something that can impact in the early game. It has been a bit hit or miss, a bit feast or famine, but what is the option going to be? Yone still in the rotation, could still be big here, with a Gragas potentially going to the jungle for G2 Esports.
There's the Vi ban, so they are just a bit concerned. From G2 actually banning the Vi. Interesting. I think it's because it's an early game jungler, right? Level 2, level 3 ganks can work on that champion. See what Malrang digs deep for. Maokai is taken away as well. That's another one that can find those early ganks. Lee Sin is up, but I'm not sure if they want to play Jace, Lee Sin, Lulu. I think they need a bit more CC on their team.
Yeah, I think when you talk about what has been so successful across the last few days of games, it is still a lot of hard CC setup, a lot of reliable tools to start a fight. And Koi have a lot of strong champions on their team right now, but they don't have a lot of reliable engage or disengage tools. So G2 going to tease us a bit with the hover overs here, but would hope to see kind of maybe some utility pick in the mid lane. Wouldn't mind if the Vi had not been banned away, seeing something like a Lissandra Vi, potential mid-jungle duo, but Pantheon. It looks like Pantheon round 2.
Pantheon round 2, that might be Broken Blades, could still be Caps as well. I think what they're saying here is we're going to put Pantheon into Jace wherever he goes. No matter what, if this Jace goes top or mid, Pantheon's going to match it. So Koi could double flex Cassante Jace and say, well, it's a guessing game now. So what's Malrang going to go for? Wukong, yeah, one of the strongest junglers on the patch, is up. Doesn't have as much maybe lockdown as the Jarvan Vi or the early game that maybe Malrang would want, because it normally spikes towards level 6. Doesn't have that much skirmish potential in the early stages. But he is going to go for the Lee Sin. I think it's going to be a bit of a tough game for the Lee Sin. We'll see what he can find. I think they need more lockdown. Lissandra here or something blind would be doing them favors, but then again, Caps could go something like Sylas on 5. Ari could work pretty well.
This is an insanely hard Lee Sin game. There is no other CC to help with the setup.
Against Gragas Nautilus, it's a bit of a pain.
Nautilus auto, I mean, Pantheon could just input buffer the W, and anytime you try to come anywhere near that backline, you're going to get stunned. This is an incredibly hard game.
He needs setup. He needs something with CC, anything.
Lissandra.
Yeah, Lissandra. The problem with blinding Lissandra here is I think Sylas can go pretty well here for a G2. It's a melee champ. It's skirmish heavy. Put the Pantheon top, you know where Jace is going.
The nice thing is the second you have a Pantheon in your composition, you're not worried about being too AP heavy with the Gragas Forest. So, yeah, you can.
Yeah,
Just opting for a Sylas.
Cassio, Syndra, Sylas, these are champs that Lissandra struggles against. Zoe being hovered. Could be a very poke-heavy comp. Not so much meta, but yeah, looks like...
Oh.
They're going to go for the Cassante mid for Caps.
They're smiling. They're laughing. Cassante.
Wow, so G2's comp very base damage heavy. Cassante, Nautilus, Gragas.
This is basically, there are two kinds of front lines. They're the front line that's so beefy that the enemy can't get through them, and the front line that does so much damage that you can't ignore them. And that, either way, Hansama is going to have a lot of space to work here. The name of the game for Koi is get to the back line, kill Hansama, outscale everybody else on the side of G2.
Yeah, G2's comp very similar to last game. If comp gets ahead on the Zeri, he's going to melt through everyone on G2. But of course, if the Gragas gets ahead, if they can just be very skirmish heavy in the early stages, the game can slip through Koi's fingers. They need to manage top side again. It fell apart level 3, level 4. They need to make sure top is safe. The problem they have this time around is there's no range support bots, so there's also a chance that, I mean, G2 flip the script and they go towards bot side anyway. So it's going to be a bit of a tough game for Malrang to juggle both these side lanes. See if he does any kind of late invades to mark as to where Yike will go in the early stages, but G2 currently 1-0 up in this series. Koi very meta standard comp, see if they can pull it back and get us to game 3.
Checking our eyes, waiting for Koi to show us more. So many Koi fans here in Berlin, ready to see a game 3, but can Koi fire back? Let's find out as we get into game 2.
Thank you for joining me. It was a similar approach to the comp, but I'm wondering, are you going to have a different approach to the game?
I think we're still playing Pantheon Gragas in this game. We can be very aggressive. We can make a lot of plays. Pantheon's global, and Gragas has a lot of burst damage. So it's a bit different, but it's a similar game.
And what did you think of the draft on the side of Koi?
Well, we prepared a lot against, for example, Jace picks. So I think that we were very prepared coming to this. I think that I'm liking the mid matchup as well, but they do have scaling, right? In these sorts of games, they can scale very well.
So how fast do you need to close this game out?
I guess it depends. Maybe like 20, 25, 30 minutes should be fine.
All right, well, maybe I'll be speaking to you in 30 minutes then. Thank you very much, Dylan. We're going to head to Dracos and K-Draw to cast this game.
I like it. Clear expectation setting for the people at home. 30 minutes. That's how long G2 has.
It's got a hot date after 30.
Yeah, or they're, I mean, I think mostly he means he's outscaled.
Yeah, I think the
Could
Zeri
also have a date, don't know.
Yeah,
Not going to pry
Zeri
into
would have
personal life.
The Zeri would have 3 items at that point, and yeah, I think the...
It's also Poke Varus. That is a comment on Hansama, which when your entire, what could be your front line is going to be diving into the enemy backline, maybe you're kind of just going to need the range to follow up there.
It's very burst heavy, G2's comp, isn't it? Not so much like DPS, find space and hit. It's just throw everything
as long as they can one-shot people on Koi, their comp is good. The second they can no longer one-shot people, it's going to be very difficult.
It is. So G2 now contesting this early bot push. Yike and Malrang, different to last game. They're actually both starting top side now. I wonder if Yike's doing Raptors red Krugs into top gank. Looks like Shigenda might give up the push early as well and just allow his jungler to move towards bot. Looks like it's even for now, but he is giving up the push a little bit, giving Broken Blade some space to work with, maybe afraid of getting ganked, knowing that his jungler is going to path down. And, I mean, they could set up for a dive. Malrang's gonna get that. I wonder if they reset that Gromp. He's really late right now on the clear. Jack's gonna finish his 3rd camp. Nevertheless, Larsen's just trying to get a little bit of mid push. Lissandra's just such a powerful pick for Lee Sin specifically. Anything with lockdown and CC, level 6, that's going to be a one-shot onto anyone.
Caps trying to dash in there. A little bit of work, trade a little bit back here in the mid lane for now. Larson leveraging that range advantage to get a lot of work done. Remember, this is the first K'Sante mid that we've seen in the LEC. If you've been watching internationally, you may have seen it elsewhere, but right now we need to focus on what could be a top dive.
Yeah, Yikes sees blue is down, ward's placed, Grom's down, Yikes, Malrang's bot side. Broken Blade crashed the wave, so again, that knows something's up. There, he'll see the barrel. Maybe he needs to call Larson here. Let's watch Larson on the minimap. Does he back away and get ready for a TP? Because Shigenda is under a threat of a dive. Can he outplay this? He's probably close to leveling up.
Going in, back to the minion line, trying to clear a nice knockback from Pantheon. Immediately going to find the follow-up. Tanking the tower, has to flash out to safety. Clean plays coming out from Shigenda. They get both a Broken Blade Summoner. Shigenda's going to TP back to lane like nothing happened.
So Malrang actually started running towards top instead of invading the bot side jungle, so Yike might get away with murder here. They trade flashes, the Ignite is down, yes. But he doesn't actually take away any camps. You can see Mickey's trying to scout us to see where the Lee Sin is, but he's not on anything. Pings will come through. They've lost nothing on the bot side for that, but Malrang is coming. It's a little bit late, and now Azeri is basing, so the timer is not great for an invade. Looks like the Crab will do, and he'll move towards the rest of his bot side camps. You have to imagine Larson getting low on mana means that they can't really contest his bot side jungle. He's going to have to base and TP back soon.
But credit to Shigenda, already slowing this game down significantly compared to the previous game. Larson running out of mana, though, giving Caps a clear window of opportunity to get aggressive. Of course, K'Sante in mid, very similar to K'Sante in every other lane. It's just a shorter lane, and he does exactly the same thing otherwise.
Yeah, once it gets towards that level 6. I feel like K'Sante kind of catches you off guard at times when he like pushes you back, knocks you.
I mean, he's a champion who literally goes from doing 0 damage to when he ults to doing a ton of damage.
He is, and he's going to be very, very tanky. All of this beefy front line. There's only one range champion on G2 in its hands, and he's going to be playing very, very far back because he knows if he gets kicked, they lose a lot of their damage source.
It also means that their siege is terrible. So if Koi ever get a Baron,
Gonna be rough.
this game's basically over for G2 if they get a Baron on good terms. But again, while their comp is on a timer, it is very, very powerful in the early to mid game if they can find some of these early skirmishes. Koi, I think, just really needs to be willing to play on the back foot here and weather the storm.
Ooh, Mickey. I think he maybe tried to demat that range creep and then hook, but he was just out of range for the channel. It's very common on Nautilus when you have minion dematerializer to like demat the creep that they're hiding behind and then throw your hook. And if you buff them both at the same time, you can land it. I think he just missed it there. We'll see if he does it again on his bot side when his hook is up again.
Bit of poke coming in here. Tama trying to trade back, but Trimby, quick trigger finger on the shields there as Cap's getting more and more aggressive as the levels come through. You saw the first few levels very much going in favor of Larson, but as we've gone further into this lane, now that Caps has a bit of additional MR, that things are going a lot more in his favor. Yike waiting in the darkness.
Yeah, Lee Sin will win the extended trade, but Yike can stop him on the Q with his body slam and then just run away. But they both want this crab. Caps has mid push. He's a bit low on HP. Larson's catching the wave. Won't get level 6. Broken Blade doesn't have the ult to collapse down, but because Shigenda based, they're going to give this. And, pretty quiet early game. I think this is exactly what Koi want. As much as they're playing Lissandra Lee Sin and maybe they want to look for plays, their timer is at level 6, so they're happy just sitting and waiting now. The Lissandra has hit that break point where Malrang can now visit mid on any timer.
Definitely. Of course, some tools to mitigate the potential CC setup. President K'Sante's kit, a lot of tools to mitigate the potential CC setup, so always have to give him that respect. But similarly, Caps is going to have a very hard time all-inning a Lissandra. Mickey going to land the hook. Ignite now getting ticked down. Burning through his Trimby as the cleanse comes out to try to cancel it. Trimby going down. First blood. The flash forward. Full confidence response on Mickey instantly going to flash in and follow up, but comp flashing out to safety, meaning it'll only be a single kill.
Both flashes are gone. The heal was on cooldown for Trimby, so Hans had full confidence to commit to that. Caps is roaming down here to see if he can stop Comp's base, stop him catching the wave, but Malrang sees him.
Waiting.
Calling Larson here. Caps could be in trouble.
Caps in no man's land here. He can't really dash over the wall. He's going to have to use the ulti immediately if he wants to make it out to safety. Will not. Will just drop down here. Now going to ult Malrang back. Flash over the wall. Making it out to safety. He's in mad lab. The body block. Yike, an absolute hero in this series. Now trying to heal up. Caps trying to get a bit more damage down, but there's the frozen thrall coming out. Yike. Gonna fall down here. Tried desperately to save his mid laner. He will not get a kill back. It is a double for Malrang.
That's exactly what Koi wanted. Caps getting a bit greedy there. Wanted to dive Comp, maybe stop his base. Nets kills for Malrang on this Lee Sin. 2v2 is only really gonna get stronger because this is a pre-level 6 Lee Sin. So he sees Caps, who's looking bot. Calls
Waits.
Larson. Patience is really important there. He could Q him, but he won't have kill pressure. And Caps does a very good job in finding a way out. Most players would maybe run towards the top side here, but he realizes he has to go down towards the bot side, go towards his jungler as Larson takes the claw up, expecting him to go that way. Yike stops Malrang on the flash auto, but then he threads the needle. Maybe Yike could have blocked this while Caps was getting the honey fruit. If he could, then Caps would live. Oh, look at that Q. Yike saw it come out and clicked down, but it just landed. That didn't land. There was a world where they could turn because Comp had to base. And Yike here has flash, but once the Gragas loses flash, he loses a lot of gank threats, a lot of kill threats. Tries to trade one, back, ends up falling.
Much better early game coming in from Malrang this time around. 600 individual gold lead, even on camps. In the previous game, it was 36 CS to 12 or something. Very much stacked against him, but this Lee Sin snowballing in the early game, perfect for Koi because they're not the team that's supposed to win in the early to mid game. They're the team that's supposed to outscale when you look at these compositions. So the fact that they have a lead, or at least dead even at this stage of the game, is massive for them moving forward.
Yeah, and he stopped putting their foot on the gas now, G2, so they're going to start up this dragon. Bot lane is winning, so Yike can always lean down here knowing that they'll have the push. Malrang's going to be very close to 6. He might level up on the creep if he smites it.
Kicking in.
But Caps is too far away. They're going to move now towards this dragon. Larson's ult's up in 5 seconds. 4,000 health on this dragon. Comp and Tribby trying to get
level
involved.
5.
Comp
Going over the wall. Holding off on the ultimate for now. Gonna be happy with just the dragon, but here comes Larson. Frozen claw over the wall, flash forward, immediately focusing down Mickey. Mickey, can he hook to safety? He cannot because the body block is there for Malrang. Larson grabbing the kill as Yike again. Waiting in the darkness, trying to create a bit of space here. Caps off to the side. Ultimate just now coming out.
As much as G2's comp is early game focused, this Lissandra Lee Sin is working as a bridge, like a kind of something that can carry Koi to that later stage of the game for the Zeri Lulu, because they are just so powerful in this 2v2. It's hard for Caps and Yike to keep up. He's only level 5 right now on the Gragas. As much as G2's bot lane can be there first, Comp can kind of cheat that by jumping over the wall. And they don't turn it into a dragon, but they stop G2, slow the game down again. Yike's going to want to probably force that again. And here he goes. Is he going to start it up? He's thinking about it. Caps is trying to get the mid wave in.
Debating.
Looking on Larson. He has the ult, could pull him back.
Unstoppable is going to pull him back all out there as Larson desperately trying to disengage Caps. So much damage here, but has to be careful.
The Q3.
The tower is going to try to get it. Now pulling away, needs to time the Q3 flawlessly. Is he going to get it? Yes, he is! Player of Caps' caliber, not going to make a mistake in that instance. Will find the solo kill onto Larson.
Malrang will find Yike, see if he takes his Q. He's going to jump on top of him. Hans has the ult. Mickey, not level 6 just yet. He can't commit to this. The 3v3 is losing for Koi on this bot side without Larson being able to collapse to get that numbers advantage. But they're under threat of some kind of dive here.
Broken level 5.
Yeah, Broken Blade's running top. Caps has no flash. Maybe a bit greedy here for the plate. If Malrang can Q the creep and ward jump, he gets a kick in. Looks like Caps is
Gonna go for the plate here. Gonna try to wander his way out, but Malrang gonna come over the wall. Blast cone waiting for him. There's just no way out of this one. Caps tries to dash back in, but Malrang now on a killing spree.
Here's the bot dive. Mickey gets level 6.
Knockup coming in for Comp. Trippy still only level 5. That's gonna be big, but an excellent polymorph to try to stop the play. It will,
Larson's
however,
here.
not be enough. He wants to go for another. The dunk down coming in. Larson, this is your time. Larson with one reason. Explosion throw coming out. Hansama ready to turn onto Yike. His zombie form will not find purchase. And Larson will only able to get one kill back.
Could have been disaster for G2. Larson's ult was 5 seconds away as Yike flashed. Malrang will get converted into a Herald, seeing the enemy jungler on the bot side of the map. Maybe fishing for more here, slow down the bases. Mickey will just about escape. Will he spot Yike? He's just out of vision. We'll get the recall off. They didn't get the dragon, but they got kills onto Koi's bot lane. Maybe G2 have found a window to get kills onto the Zeri Lulu, but that's not going to win you the game. I feel like this Herald's going to do favors for Koi. Malrang and Larson can then start to hover towards this bot side. They've already got their mythic items, and now they're putting the bot lane mid to avoid any kind of further disasters.
And G2's big point of strength right now is their bottom lane. You look between the two of them, 1,500 gold between Hansama and Mickey, but it is the top side right now for Koi that is so incredibly strong, and it is so much more powerful in a game of League of Legends to get your mid jungle ahead than it is to get your bot lane ahead, at least in the early to mid game. Maybe it'd be a different case if they're playing something more scaling, but as long as Hansama is trapped in that bottom lane, he can't really impact the rest of the map.
Right, and that's exactly what Koi have done. We'll see it after this replay, because this is the force to dive. They know they want to walk up for the wave. Mickey just got level 6. The ult, I mean, Comp can't really get away from this. Hook comes through, and he goes down. Larson TP behind was fantastic. Nice knock by Yike to get Trimby as well. 2 kills. Larson answers onto Hans. Nice flash from Yike here. The Frozen Troll is coming through. The Q is off cooldown in just a second. Just out of range for Larson. And then Malrang, you can see on the minimap there, just taking the Herald. But you can see the map here now. What they've done is they've taken the Herald, sent their bot lane top. Let's get away from this Varus Nautilus, then we don't have a losing lane. I don't think Comp will get any gold for this. Does it crash?
Gonna go through.
Oh, just crashed.
Crash.
Hook missed as well. Yike didn't have the ult to follow up, and now they're going to do the exact same thing again.
Caps trying to rinse and repeat on the solo kill here. Gonna miss a little bit.
So watch the Zeri Lulu. They're moving away from top. They don't want to lane against this Varus. Looks like they're moving mid. Caps could be under threat. Doesn't have any Mercury treads. Very low tenacity here. The ult could come through. Should be an easy kill for Koi.
Top strikes, trying to find it up. Caps can ult someone to try to make it out safety. He's dashing it. He's going to go for the ult. The unstoppable back into the rest of Koi, though. There's just no way out.
It's a kill for Zeri. Now Malrang can escort his bot lane back top, catch that wave. Looks like they're only roaming for the kill, trying to punish Caps, overextending on the push there. And you can see Shigenda's pressuring Broken Blade. This Pantheon hasn't gotten involved in the game. The ult's on cooldown. I wonder if he used that to get back to the lane. But this is really tough for G2, being down in gold, down in neutrals, losing the Herald, no dragon stacking. You're relying on a poke Varus against Lissandra, Lee Sin, Zeri, Lulu. That's not going to carry you across the finish line, so they need to start some more fights around the map.
Difficult thing to do, though, especially as the Lee Sin just starts to pull further and further ahead as their bot lane advantage starts to shrink a little bit on the back of that play on Caps going down to comp. It's going to be a bit of a difficult game. Caps needs to... I don't know enough about K'Sante, but I'm going to say, based on my perspective of K'Sante mid thus far, Caps needs to chill just a little bit.
He's playing really aggressive, isn't he?
He's limit testing is the term I would use.
What Caps is doing, I think, is just fighting Larson as much as possible to stop Lissandra from pushing in and moving around the map.
Yeah.
But the problem is, his jungle support can't cover him as well as they did last game because they're trying to play around this Varus.
Yes, and the other problem is Koi's bot lane is just coming mid.
And now the jungle support is mid. Now they probably realize, like Cap saying, I need some cover to stop this Lissandra. Try to suppress the Lissandra a little bit. But does that net you any plays? You know, contesting this mid push all the time. Last time you had the Sylas, you had the Yasuo, you could try to look for fights.
And despite the way the Caps is playing, Larson is 5 out of 6 in KP. He's still been a part of all of these plays across the map. He's still making his presence known. So it's not really successful in terms of shutting down Lissandra overall. Maybe it's mitigated some of what could have been, but that's a hard thing to calculate, hard thing to take into account. So for now, Koi just going to continue to press their advantage here.
Yeah.
The last game, it felt like G2 were always one step ahead. This time, Koi have been trading even, and now it finally feels like Koi are the ones in the driver's seat.
They've swapped lanes as well. G2 have put their bot lane mid and said to Caps to go bot, but first tower will go over to Shigenda. He's getting really far ahead of this Pantheon. G2 need to do something soon. Are they going to dive bot? Are they going to look for the dragon? The dragon is good, but you're 15 minutes away from a soul, and Dylan said by 30 it's going to be a bit of a tough game.
It's 14 minutes, a little bit of a tough game.
They're not going to commit to the dive. TP on Shigenda. Larson's just kind of hovering around this entrance, seeing if they go for the Raptors, get a bit greedy, they can look to punish it.
And that is an out. Soul is always going to be important. Hard to say without knowing what Soul it's going to be. It won't be Infernal or Cloud, but Hextech Soul, high impact for any champion. Caps finally going to get Jack Show, so we'll be that much tankier in the all-in against Larson or anybody else. Right now, a bit of a quieter game, which, as we mentioned before, G2 the ones who need to keep the pace going. G2 the ones who need to force plays, so the slower the game is, the more that it feels like it is in favor of Koi.
Yeah, so Broken Blade's pushing out top now. He's got the Eclipse. Would love to see him move towards mid, look for an ult towards mid bot side. Mickey and Hans getting involved. Try to force a 4 or 5 man dive somewhere around the map, or at least get something out of Koi. You know, you can rinse and repeat. They all have sums up. Maybe if they can ult bot, get comp summoners, trimby summoners, and then do it again in a minute or two's time. But no, it looks like they're looking for Shigenda. See if he face checks this. He has no ward. I didn't get vision on the Gragas, did it?
Step, body slam forward from Yike. Looking for an option. Instantly Broken Blade coming with all of it. They need to burn through Shigenda immediately, or Larson's going to stop this play in its tracks. The spear will not connect. Comet Spear cannot find Shigenda.
Don't get greedy.
Powered Shock Blast blocked by the Aegis. We saw both sides walking away, but it's the Flash and Ignite down for Broken Blade in exchange for the Flash from Larson.
Good protect there from Larson, moving from mid, making sure his top laner is safe. The Shock Blast didn't give vision, but now Comp and Trimmy laning against Caps, who obviously will struggle in this 1v2. So it's Hans and Mickey. They ran towards top. That's why Koi backed off. Now they're running towards bot, but Koi are going to back off. A lot of push and pull going on here around the map. Still, Pantheon has this ult. So waiting for them to look for something. I think maybe G2 are looking at the next Herald or the next Dragon to start a fight, because if the enemy team is playing this safe on lanes, eventually they might walk into an objective, and that's your next window of opportunity to start something.
Yep. And it is a bit concerning for the side of G2 just how far ahead Shigenda is. That's plates. That is gold. That is not kills or assists. That is just a lot of laning and, of course, a little bit of support to get that tower down on the top side of the map. But this is a massive, massive individual advantage. And while the Pantheon looked so good in Game 1 when it was set up for success, when it was kind of spoon-fed kills in the early game, even when BB was falling behind in CS, it didn't matter because he could make plays. Well, now he's falling behind in CS, and he cannot make plays. So this Jace is going to be a terror to deal with, especially once it gets some armor penetration under its belt. Once it gets that third item, this is going to be very, very hard for G2.
So Jax on this towards his top side. He sees that Herald's been pulled out, but Caps doesn't have TP yet. No one's hovering bot for the dive. Larson has TP. He can cover this tower pretty easily. He's ready to respond at a moment's notice if G2 decide to take this fight, but they can't. So Herald will fall. 2 minutes on the next dragon. If Koi take that dragon, they can stall this game out as long as they want. They're happy, just sitting back, relaxing. G2 now hovering towards bot, diving the Lissandra is so hard. Self-ult, Jace TP, the Zhonya's as well, so it's gonna take way too much time to get the kill. That maybe Koi can cross-map. They can either defend the play, or they can look for a mid-tower. So G2 need to find a play that nets them a positive gold advantage.
But what is there even on the map right now?
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It really is.
Because there's no neutrals at this stage of the game. Baron's not going to be on the table even when it does spawn, because you just don't really have the damage to shred through it at this point in the game. Maybe once Broken Blade gets Blade of the Rune King. But finally you have pressure mid. Now they can start to look bot lane. But already Koi, 2 members in the area, ready to respond.
Yeah, I think Koi are just good at, they're just playing really well at responding. I mean, all they need to do is get information, and they're just constantly getting information. How? Well, as long as Shigen pushes top, they see Pantheon. As long as Zeri's catching mid-waves and is safe, they will see the Varus Nautilus. They just have to ward one side, and you can see the defensive pinks in their bot side jungle. Now Shigen's moving down, just trying to contest a bit of mid-push here.
Shock blast, comp immediately gonna ult. Just trying to threaten Hansama, but Hansama not too spooked, not too scared. It's just gonna walk away.
On the flip side, Koi can't really make a play either, you know? G2 can contest mid-waves constantly and move towards sides first.
Yeah.
The Cassante is too tanky, the Pantheon's constantly catching waves and hovering in fog of war.
Well, and you have to be careful, because if you overextend at all against this composition...
Oh, here comes something, maybe.
Shift in favor of G2. Have they overextended here, though? Nice body block coming in from Malrang to make sure Larson does not get chain CC'd down there.
That's what they wanted, just get the Lee Sin flash, get something out of Koi. Now on the next rotation of ults, maybe they can find a little more. Need to wait for that Nautilus and Varus ult to be up, but they won't be available for this next dragon. Zeri ult will be on cooldown as well. See Shigen pushing out top, moving down. Caps are swapped up there with the TP available.
Mickey will just walk away.
He's trying to base to get his wards refreshed. You can see on the action bar of Nautilus, no wards, no pinks, no nothing. And they're all going to get swept out eventually. You can see Larson has the sweeper ready. When he moves from that mid wave, he can start sweeping them out. Then they can start threatening this bot tower, and they can start threatening the dragon too. So Herald comes through. You can see pings on the minimap. Koi looking at a tier 2. I don't think they can look for... They'd be a bit greedy to go for tier 2, but maybe they're saying to G2, you're not doing anything, we're just going to keep pushing. Bit of game of chicken here if G2 wants to pull the trigger, and it's very hard for them to pull the trigger without the Nautilus ult. Not that much wave clear either. Looks like Shigenda's here to escort the wave with his bot jungle in. Crash is going to come through.
Over the wall. Crash does come in. G2 just going to accept that charge and walk away comfortable for now, but Broken Blade clearing out that wave. Now maybe they can start to contest some of the vision around Dragon, but they don't have mid-prio either. This is a bit difficult for G2.
Yeah, Dragon's up, just like you talked about. Looking for something
Body slam forward. That's the play that they're waiting for. Spear now coming in, but Shigen just flashes out to safety.
Yeah, BB doesn't have the flash. He can't get over the Raptor wall, so it's a flash for flash trade. Koi will get the Dragon. And so G2 looking for the mid tower, perhaps. Maybe they want to move up towards this top side and dive the Lissandra, but again, it's impossible to dive this Lissandra.
And again, I think that the thing is, when G2 had the lead in the previous game, their composition demanded that they play scrappy, that they keep forcing. Koi had the lead in this game, and they want to play it slow. So credit to them for having the discipline not to give any windows of opportunity to G2, because if you get sloppy against this composition, even with a lead like Koi has, it can fall apart. So while it's not maybe as scrappy or as flashy, the diligence that they have right now is what is winning them this game.
The worst part for G2 really is that they can't rush Nash either. They're playing Poke Varus, full tanky top sides.
He played to the Rune King Pantheon, but that's
no
a
way.
stretch.
Nash is going to take forever. So you could see, I saw on the minimap a couple seconds ago, Koi were question mark pinging Baron. They don't have any vision up there, but I think they're confident enough to say, you know what, I don't think they have the damage. Varus showed on midwave, and now Comps picked up the Infinity Edge. Larson building towards his second item as well, maybe going towards Shadow Flame. And 3k gold lead over to Koi right now. Dragon Soul won't really be on the cards for either team. I think just Koi controlling this Baron, making sure they're safe. Wait for a couple more items on the Zeri, and happy days. But now you can see small spikes coming out for G2 as well. Frozen Heart, Eclipse Yomus for hands. No flash on Malrang. That could be their window. You know, as much as timing flashes is very, very common these days, if they can maybe ult flash Varus onto a Lee Sin, get a chain CC, kill Malrang, and force a 4v5 on a Baron, that's ideal. And this is why giving it to them.
Caps off to the backside. Yikes, he's gonna body slam forward. Just threatening. Polymorph down, but Larson on the flank.
Is so good.
Your eye on the claw. Here comes the path. He doesn't even take the time to do it. They're just gonna set their eyes on the target. Now he's going golden. Finds himself a brief moment. Hook gonna go through to the rest of the team. G2 just don't have the damage. G2 don't have the tools, and Koi will find another pick in their favor.
Broken Blades bots with no ults. It's a 5v4, isn't it? There's no way they stand a chance. G2 just don't have any damage. They can't get through a Jace, Lee Sin. Lulu ult is still up. Heals coming off cooldown. They'll get this bot tier 1. G2 wondering if they're going to go towards this Nash. I wonder if they are, but they don't have the Lissandra ult. Is it worth taking the risk? Is it worth saying to G2, we are going to force this, you have to come into us, when you could just stand here and watch them suffer.
Okay, Pantheon does have ultimate, and the observers have pointed out that he is recalling, so maybe there's a play to be made here for G2 if Larson overstays on the top side. But Larson, a very solid side laner. I don't think he's going to take that risk as we look back at this play.
A great positioning by Larson. Doesn't even use the claw, just flashes, wants to go in quick now. Get the slow, get the triple root, pop the stopwatch to avoid the Gragas cask. Hands is off to the side. Gets zoned away by Malrang, who looks for the kill, but he gets rooted on the Q, so he can't follow up. Mickey hooks in to try to protect Yike. He knows if his jungler falls, Baron's going to go down, so he has to sacrifice himself there a little bit. And Broken Blade was bought all the meanwhile. Broken Blade really not being able to get himself involved in this game. He's close to that Blade of the Ruined King. Maybe that's the break point where he says, I can finally start joining fights now. I'm confident enough. I have some damage to provide to the team, because G2 need anything and everything right now.
Maybe. I don't know if Blade of the Ruined King is going to be enough, though. And of course, big damage output from Lysandra. Credit to Hans Sama in the previous fight, the Varus ultimate
could
slowed
jump
down
kick flash here.
Pick.
It's got a good position.
War jump kick flash, there it is, you call it, boom! Alley-oop right into the waiting arms of Larson.
Delicious, isn't it? Flash W on Lee Sin is really hard to react to. If you W flash, it's a bit slower. Malrang, good mechanics there. It's a bit tricky because you need your mouse in the right position to land the ward after you flash. Baron Force coming in. Yike is in the area. Broken Blade has the ult. Baron's going down. 6k HP. They don't have Lysandra ult. They don't have Lee Sin. They're missing a lot of lockdown. Caps can get some damage done here.
One was stolen before. Can another be stolen this time around? It's a polymorph Gragas independent. 3k, it's getting lower, but they've not bursted it down. Now G2 just setting their eyes on the Baron. They need to burst through the objective. G2's kind of targeted to take a little bit of a scrappy fight here, but they will not steal the objective. They will not take the fight. They will not get anything. Koi wiping the floor with G2.
It's clean. Only Trimby was under any kind of threat, and he manages to get out alive. Baron recalls coming in. That's the nail in the coffin. I think G2's windows, their time has ran out. Koi will do a victory lap in the next few minutes to close this game out. Hans is looking to cover. Maybe you can get a snipe here onto Shigenda. How much damage does this do? The Q.
Running in here. No fear. Still standing. Manages to get one, Hans Sama. So respectable effort here, but Malrang coming in just to kick finish the job.
Small shutdown, 7,000 gold lead now over to Koi. Dragons in 50 seconds. That'll be an easy exit objective, but now they really want to start pressuring, pushing the game forwards. They've been playing slow, calm and collected, punishing G2's openings, defending every single play that they looked for. And now they will start to look on these side lanes. Top tier 2 is up, mid tier 2 is up, but let's look at this again. It's a 4v5 from the get-go, but G2 just don't have damage. Yike's not as fed as he was last game. The Gragas burst is little to none, and the only target they can maybe look for is Trimby. This is a fight where Larson doesn't even have the ult, and he's kind of zoned away towards the bot side, doesn't get much done. Comp's under threat here, but then he gets over the wall, and once he's over the wall, that's it. G2 can look for the steal, but they lose the 50-50. Malrang's on point there, 1168 HP on a 1200 smite. Picks it up, and Cap tries to get away. Koi collapse and get that kill.
Cadril, have you ever watched The Great British Bake Off?
No. Is that weird? Because I'm like
That is
British.
very weird. Undermined my entire plan.
You know what I liked? Do you know the Antiques Roadshow?
What?
Based. That's a
Are
great show.
you 50?
That is a great show. Just sitting, come home from school, see some antiques just hovering around.
I am so lost.
You just get,
How
you look
have
at,
you not seen Great British Bake Off, but you've seen Antique Roadshow?
does that make me? Yeah, well, Antiques Roadshow is pretty. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty
You always
lit.
look at the item, you're like, I wonder how much that's worth.
And
it's
they're
like,
like $5,
yeah,
you're like,
and you're
no
like,
way. And
no
they're like
way.
5,000, you're like, damn.
damn.
Of course
And
it
then you
is.
look around your house, and you're like, Mom, what can I sell that's worth 5,000, but
I
you
need
wouldn't
more
think is
Pokemon.
worth 5,000? I need more
All
Pokemon
right,
cards.
well, I have to forget what I was going to talk about, because Larson's getting collapsed on, and my metaphor has no more time.
There's a
So
TP on
Larson,
tier 2.
Can he sidestep here? They're buying
Watch again, though.
a lot of time. Goes golden this time around, doing a lot of damage back. That's the redemption. The knockback. Larson getting a lot, and now here comes the cleanup crew. G2, absolute desperation. But Shigenda, might as well call him the finisher. Damn, he is just closing that out. Triple kill on the top side of the map. The Koi staff already knew it's over. They're not even sitting backstage anymore. This game is so over.
Yeah, Freddy's probably gone through the next draft of the game after he saw them get that Baron. He was like, that's done and dusted. Larson smiling, Koi full of confidence now as they push forwards to get a game 3. They won't be able to end off of this, but yeah, they're going to break through the base. Tier 3 mid, tier 2 mid, tier 2 top. Everything is gone. G2 so far behind in gold, so far behind in levels, and they are completely out of time.
It's like Koi gonna reset one more time. Okay, so here's how it works. Cadril, you ready?
All right, hit me.
Never mind. Replay.
Replay.
Let's talk about it. Larson.
So watch the mini-map here. You can see Shigenda TPing to the tier 2. He's saying, Larson, buy as much time as you can, buddy. Pops the ult on the initial body slam. Zonya's, and then he's going to flash the next body slam. The root didn't land, but the knockback was good. Shigenda comes in, Easy 3 kills.
Yep. Clean setup.
Trimby's here just to spectate.
Larson kind of, you know, given his life so that Jigenda can look even better. 505, 5K individual gold lead. This is a just a bit of a diffie in the tiffy here.
Yeah, I feel like the Pantheon pick is like the first game is Pantheon on enemy team, the second game is Pantheon on my team.
Okay, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna teach you about Great British Bake Off.
You're gonna teach
how
me?
it's gonna work. The final challenge is called the Showstopper, right?
Sounds like a WWE slam dunk.
Yeah. It basically is, but like baking.
Okay.
And you have to make the coolest thing that you can in a very short amount of time, right?
But
someone always is like, I can make the 20-layer cake, and they can't. G2 are trying to make the 20-layer cake. Koi said they're going to make the 3-layer cake. Now, if G2 had succeeded in making the 20-layer cake, there is no doubt that they would have won this showstopper. But Koi said, you're dumb, and that is not a good choice with your 20-layer cake.
I don't even know if they got the 3 or 4 layers. That thing fell apart at the get-go.
Yeah.
How much time do they have? 30 minutes?
4 hours. G2 did not even give themselves. They got 30 minutes.
Yeah, they're 25, really.
It's like the training weights. You know what I mean?
Don't let them cook, G2.
Don't let them bake.
Don't let them bake.
This is a baked comp. There are cooked comps and there are baked comps.
Do you use an oven if you bake? You do, right? So that's is baking cooking?
Yes.
Okay.
You use an oven if you bake.
I've never baked. Shocked?
No. No, not in the slightest.
I'm good at making pasta, though.
Yes, you are. I can attest to that.
Did I make you pasta once?
Yes, you did.
Was it good?
And breakfast. Yes, you did. Or
Hell
yes, it
yeah.
was.
There it is. Casual can cook.
Yes. G2 can also cook, but sometimes they bake or they cook too much, whatever you
Kitchen's
prefer.
on fire right now for G2. The question is it one of those things where it's like, we'll get him in the next game, go blue side, just run it back, same draft, and hope the game is similar to
that episode of
game 1?
Kitchen Nightmares where that person is just like buying... Never mind. We're getting too deep.
Kitchen Nightmares is my jam.
I'm getting more lost in the sauce than G2 is right now in these drafts.
Pulling up all these shows out of nowhere. I just
this
watched...
game is very over. It will take an actual executional mechanical miracle for G2 to do anything.
You need a couple more adjectives there.
Yes.
But
impossible.
Kimpossible.
Kimpossible.
Hovering towards his top side. Baron's up. Just 4-man stack in a bush. Have a sip of your water.
Yep.
Have a little chat and then hope to God you can steal it. But good night, sweet Prince Broken Blade.
Ooh, Broken Blade. They're gonna walk him down now, just very slowly. He's gonna fly. I don't think that saves him. He's just gonna E over the wall. Not even gonna E over the wall. Good night, sweet Prince.
Oh, the move speed from the E.
Damn.
Guys, can you go Baron?
This is a very different interpretation of 300. Leonidas kind of stood his ground. This guy's just kind of running.
He's not a god. He's merely a human. He's a warrior. But now he's dead, so it's not gonna be very useful in this next fight.
Yep.
Koi's gonna go towards the Baron. Malrang smells hands in the area looking for the kill. Shigenda's just farming some DPM. And G2 need to stay around this Baron, but I don't think there's a chance really, is there?
And I mean, G2, this is, if there was any way for them to come back in this game, it would involve stealing a major objective with an objective bounty, like this Baron. That said, it would really be a mistake from Koi that would open that up for them.
This is Yike's moment. The shining factor, the comeback, the steal, the Gragas, the burst.
Belly big cask is ready.
I want to see the Malrang Q, war jump, kick, Q back, smites, refuse to elaborate, disappear.
TPing into mid lane.
That's what I want to see. Misses the Q, doesn't happen.
Over the wall. Yike already has E'd away. It looks like this play's kind of dead.
Yike
will have to cool down back up.
Throw the ult.
Caps off to the side. Yike 3K is getting lower. They kick him back into the pit. Now they want to burst the objective down. Yike, can he get any K in the cask? It will not work. There is no opportunity to fire back as Yike is just about dead here. Shigena just fishing over the wall. That wall really the only thing keeping G2 safe. It's not even keeping G2 safe. The wall will not keep them safe. G2 getting slaughtered on the opposite side of the pit. Comp not even getting taken down by Caps. The entire squad is there to shut that play down. The TP coming into the mid lane.
Broken Blade's on the run again. Every time he comes out of base, he's being chased, man.
Live, die, live again. Die again.
Ward hop? Nope. Malrang's missed a lot of Qs in that Baron fight. Looks like me on least at this point, but that one was blind, so I'll forgive him for it. Doesn't even go for Broken Blades. He's going to recall, and that's going to be that. I think we knew this game was pretty much over after 15-20 minute mark. G2 really didn't have a way back in after the first Baron. Koi will close it out. Yeah.
Did not get sucked in. Did not give away advantages. Played such a good mid-jungle game. Malrang and Larson.
Back, I think we'll get very similar bans that we've seen throughout the last 2 games. Things like the Draven taken away.
Annie, Malphite,
Annie, yeah. We'll see if they take away, I mean, Koi can swap it up. They can take away Varus. Maybe G2 want to take away Jace. These are the kind of picks you're looking at. There's the Jace takeaway.
I like the Jace takeaway.
I think Varus is something that G2 will want to first pick. I don't think it was like the main issue in the last draft. It was mainly the top side falling apart. There's the Annie ban. We'll see if they decide to ban Malphite as well here, G2. I think it's a bit more powerful on red side because obviously you can ban away things like the Sylas, which are very... they obviously counters the Malphite. Lissandra taken away from Larsen. I mean, I think Lissandra was also a very big pick in the last game. Not only was it good setup from Malrank's jungle pool, but yeah, just really hard to make plays on sides when it's so impossible to dive. I mean, the one time they tried, it was ended up in a triple kill for Koi.
Yeah, and I think if G2 want to continue to play compositions similar to what they've played in Game 1 and Game 2, Lissandra is the premier champion for shutting down a lot of those more early to mid-game focused picks. Just mitigates dive threat, offers so much reliable hard CC that can stop you from diving. It's a fantastic thing to have. So for now, G2 going to pick up the Vi. Koi can just respond by taking away Xayah here if they want to save AD carry.
It's a good ult interaction, of course, if they do take that Xayah, but maybe it does open up the world of possibility of Aphelios, of Jinx, of Caitlyn, you know. Picking Varus does make so you do win that lane. Kennen was banned. That's going to be instantly picked up for Shigenda, of course, with the buffs. Very powerful top laner on this patch. Provides a lot of team fight. Doesn't have that many counters in lane either. Look at things like, you know, Jace, Irelia as the ones that can really do damage to the Kennen.
Yeah, and I think that when you came into the year, Shigenda wasn't necessarily the player that you expected to be enabled so consistently from Koi, but over this entire draft, it's been the Jace, it has been the Kennen. Clearly, Koi, a lot of faith in him individually. Of course, the picks they're giving him are strong on a meta level, but you have to execute as well. So now we have a Kennen, a Wukong. You've talked about it, one of the strongest junglers on the patch. We've seen incredible results in the LCK, in the LPL. I don't like it that much personally, but when this champion pops off, it really pops off.
Ari is what's on my mind now because she works so well with both these junglers and Lissandra is banned. That's normally the answer to the Ari. So something like Ari Nautilus here for G2 could do pretty well, but they want to take the Varus. At the moment, they might want to match top 2, see what Broken Blade has in store for us. But I have a feeling that Koi might drop their bot lane to 4-5 and just look to pick up something like a Sivir. See if they want to go for something like, I mean, Xayah's up, Zeri's up. There's so many AD carries that they can choose from that looking topside right now seems to be their focus.
And even if they ban Xayah and Zeri, and the Xayah feels like a must ban if it's not going to get picked up here, then we still can go down to the next tier of AD carries, which in this case are premier AD carries, things like Aphelios that are seeing so much play across the world. So the Ahri is going to get locked in as you predicted. Could not give that one up to the side of Koi. Maybe freeze up Koi to grab a bot lane pick here, or could just look to match the Ahri.
Yeah, I think Akali is something I'm thinking of. LeBlanc could be something that Larsen goes for. Does pretty well into the Vi, makes it, as much as he has that lockdown, you can double dash away, so you take her really far on the ult.
A hugely mechanical matchup, a lot of outplay potential. Instead, it is going to be the Sivir. Sivir paired with the Wukong, paired with the Kennen, makes it pretty much impossible to keep that Varus safe.
Yeah, looks like they're going to counter pick support. I think Gragas or something like that would be a nice ban right now. Jarvan, as much as it sounds like maybe a useless ban because Broken Blade Yike has Vi already, I feel like Jarvan top is something that maybe G2 would look for. Jarvan support, there's Malphite, anything they can get on top of Sivir, any kind of hard engage. But they could also just go for something like Malphite Gragas, give Kennen a bit of an easier time. G2 can look to target that mid lane pool if they feel like there's counters to the Ahri at the moment. Lissandra being down, mentioned things like the LeBlanc and the Akali.
And really want to see how Broken Blade is going to fare in this individual 1v1, because he has not been coming out on top in CS. In Game 1, he certainly had more impact, but in Game 2, he was getting obliterated, almost in isolation. So really need to see a bigger performance from him this game. And while the Pantheon, I don't think it's going to rear its head this time around, we need to see how deep his champion pool goes, what answer he has into the Kennen, because Kennen notoriously a super oppressive laner.
It is. Broken Blade's been playing a lot of Jax this split. We've even seen things like the Kled, the Karma, wacky picks. G2 Classic, last ban coming in here for G2. Could look to target something like a Braum if they want to blind something like Nautilus, but there's the LeBlanc ban, trying to limit Larsen's champion pool. I think TF is something I'm also thinking of, maybe as an option if Larsen wants to play for some kind of roam heavy to cover the side lanes, but TF Kennen not something you normally look into.
Yeah,
doesn't really synergize that well. You need something that can get really stuck in the fights.
Can be a bit tricky too if you start to fall behind a mid lane at all. Instead, it's going to be probably this Akali locked in. You talked about it already.
I think they should have gone for LeBlanc Akali ban, but maybe the Sylas ban is preemptive as to what they're going to pick on 4-5 here. Something like Nautilus, something like Alistar could work really well into Sivir. Also knocks Kennen away, knocks the Akali away. I think Alistar actually has a lot of value in this draft, but the problem is they can play a pretty heavy counter in the lane. You're drafting more there for comp, because for team comp, because your bot lane is probably going to struggle in the lane phase itself. Let's crank into Sivir, not the greatest, of course, because of the spell shield interaction on the hook. Limits your options, hooking a Kennen in, hooking a Wukong in. But there's the Jarvan top.
Wow.
I think no surprise there when you're playing something like Sivir. They were scared more of things like the Malphite and the Olaf.
I'm still surprised. I'm impressed. Good call, Gaedril. Good read on the potential Sivir, or rather the Jarvan top angle coming in here.
It can be used in two ways, right? You can ult the Kennen to stop him from getting in the fights, and it looks like it's going to be Jarvan support. Yeah, I think top support is something where they could have placed it, and it's going to be Gragas top into Kennen. Now, what does Trimby pick? I think Tom Kench could do pretty well. You know, we haven't Vi, Jarvan, Gragas.
You've got so many champions who essentially want to leap onto a single champion. In this case, if you can protect your Sivir or your Kennen, you eat a Kennen while he's ulting, you're having a great time. I mean,
could get something to go in. Leona works too, but
the Leona game one wasn't great. I think this interaction is a little bit better. This matchup can be a little bit more favorable. Instead, Thresh, the Lantern, classic counter into the J4. I think in terms of mid to late game reliability, Thresh not quite as powerful as the Tahm Kench, but in terms of early game, certainly brings a lot more to the lane phase. The ability to flay the flag and drag from Jarvan is massive for early trades.
To be honest, I like Koi's draft. I like the way they've maneuvered around G2. They've got Kennen Wukong, great team fight. Larson will solo play. Comp and Trimby will play together to avoid the Jarvan Vi Gragas dive. We'll see if he can spell shield the Vi ult or if Yike can smite it as he's about to land. That's a really interesting interaction to track. But G2, again, very heavy kind of early mid game. Not as much as like a level 1, 2, 3, 4 spike like the Pantheon we saw earlier. More so like a level 6 draft. Varus, Ahri, Jarvan, Vi. You really want to start burning summoners in the early stages and then using your ults at level 6 to punish that afterwards.
And I think in the first few levels, their champions do have a few more skirmishing tools necessary than the opposition. But overall, feels like another draft where if G2 do not snowball a lead, it's kind of all eyes on Hans Sama. Hans Sama, the one really big scaling damage threat. There's a world, of course, where Yike gets ahead and the Gragas can be that bigger threat, or the Ahri gets ahead, but the one reliable late game threat on their composition is Hans. We'll have to see if we can break this one home, because on the opposite side, it is team fight powerhouse for the side of Koi. Mid lane the only exception, but if Larson gets a comfortable landing phase, we know he'll make good on that pick.
He will indeed. Can't afford to lose these best of threes, want to keep the win streaks alive, but we're ready for game 3, G2 versus Koi.
And I think those chants tell you the story very well.
There's a 1v1 there.
There's an absolute 1v1 there.
Face to face.
I respect them keeping it civil. And it's not stopping anytime soon, and I imagine it'll be a similar case in this game. Of course, for the side of Koi, I've kind of highlighted already, but a lot of really good scaling options here, certainly. We'll see how the individual landing phase plays out, because Shigenda overall can just take over this lane. They've opted to give Broken Blade the Gragas.
Yeah, see 2 wards there from Koi already in the bot side river. Maybe scared of any kind of early game shenanigans. Yike's going to start towards his top side. Marang's going to solo the Wolves. I mean, looking at pushing lanes, I mean, you expect obviously the range champs to get the push in most cases. Caps can control the wave. Shigenda's just being a nuisance, getting some information, spotting as to where Yike is. Not going to place a wall down. He knows he's there. There's no real use in doing that. Better to save that for a little bit later on when he's afraid of a gank. Does Marang? Is he going to blue here with the blast cone? No, he's going to the enemy red. Or he's going... Is he level 2 ganking? There's no way he's level 2 ganking on Wukong.
I'm sorry, did you just tell Malrang there's no way he's level 2 ganking?
This is just...
Do you know who this man is?
So what's Trimby going to do here? He's going to play for the Flay.
Nice Flay.
Ignite comes down.
Knight going down onto Mickey, and here comes the Monkey
into
the back line. Took W. Doesn't have E?
He does have E. He used it already. Oh, Comp tried to flash with the back half of the Q. Hands, nerves of steel. So, Flash Ignite traded from Koi. Exhaust and Flash traded from G2. Overall, pretty even. And now Yike knows that red buff's up. The problem that Marang has is he doesn't know where Yike is. His assumption is Yike cleared his top camps and he's moving bot side towards his red to cover his bot lane. No, Yike's actually going to his top camps and taking them away. So pings by Marang here, actually suspecting that maybe he's up towards that top side.
See if Yike wants to put a gank up there, try to limit some of what Shigenda can do here in these early levels. Already a small CS lead in favor of the Kennen, taking over to level 3 as well. This is kind of as expected early on. Broken Blade gonna have to burn health and spells just to catch CS where he can. Last, stun coming through.
Nice trades there. The attack speed helping out the Kennen a lot. He needs to be careful though. This is the problem that Shigenda has. Yes, he's winning trades. Jungler's bot side though. Yike probably top side. How aggressive does he want to play this? Larson getting chunked out a lot here. Obviously, when you're playing Doran Shield in second wind, the lower health you are, the more regen you get. So holding that potion as long as possible is what you want to look for. But when you fall below 20%, you may as well pop it in case of a gank. So now Malrang will see Krugs are up, Raptors are up. He's going to try and take this red. Is Yike in time? Does Yike queue over and do the Raptors, or does he go towards the red?
And the ward is there.
Malrang knows he's there.
Can try to steal the big Raptor here, but there's just not much of an angle. So Malrang spending a lot of time, committing a lot of resources, but is not spotted. Caps baited into a false sense of security here, but still playing to the top side of his lane, knowing that Malrang was on the bottom side, so not trying to give up too much. Charm is going to connect on Larson. Caps get some good follow-up damage, but now Malrang coming in. Caps, is he going to be forced to flash out here?
No way. Should be all right. W move speed should get him out of this. When it's up, ward's going to be placed down. See Malrang do this crab. Malrang only done 3 camps right now. This will be his 4th. Yike's already level 4. Moving towards this crab, maybe moving towards the bot side. There is a ward, but there's no flash on the comp. Trimby should have the lantern. Yeah,
Caps trying to steal it away. 13 HP. Caps going in.
Crab. Get the crab, Caps.
Ranged auto attack. 66 gold to Caps. Hits him with the emote.
He has E up, has Q. I don't think he has the damage though. He could flash,
Gonna
but
speed him out.
maybe dive. Maybe it's a dive. Broken Blade's gonna base. He needs to TP back quickly or his mid laner's in trouble. Shigenda wants it. He needs to get the cannon down. No.
It's absolute chaos. Caps, the TP coming in is big. Broken Blade having that cooldown is going to keep Caps alive. It's going to stop the dive and its tracks. That could have been disastrous, but Caps takes away the objective, can TP back to mid lane. Happy to have the Scuttle Crab.
This is so bad for Malrang. Hook blind there to try and cancel a recall. Mickey will dodge away from it. And the TP back from Caps here will come in, and he will lose nothing. Maybe that cannon minion.
Nope.
See if the shot comes through. Does he get it? No, he doesn't. So he loses a couple creeps off the back of that, but he got the gold from the Scuttle Crab, and he got the vision from it as well, so that helps a lot. So you can see Malrang's just still level 3 on his 4th camp, 5 minutes in. Yikes, getting close to that level 5 on his 2nd clear after basing. 3 long swords to 1. Jungle's already skewed in G2's favor.
Very heavily skewed, reminiscent of game 1. Malrang, of course, hugely impactful in the Lee Sin in game 2. And the Wukong does scale pretty well as we get later into the game, but definitely not the start that you want. Want to get to that level 6 a little bit faster, but so far behind now.
Maybe a bit of a sigh of relief when Trimby walks into this river and he sees bot crabs up. Pick up that camp, just try to get as many as he can. Get towards that level 6. So, see Larson and Caps just juking it out, getting towards that level 6 very, very soon. The flashes of the bot lane should be up very soon as well, so no threat of a kill. As Yike moves his way down, Malrang will pick up that crab.
Finally taking over level 4, which is big. Trimby, bit of a whip there on the hook, but doesn't need to connect. We'll just sidestep there on the arrow from the Varus.
So this is just an E-Max Jarvan, isn't it, with Airy. Mickey's E, spam poke onto comp, and the Sivir just wants to catch waves. Now, I think Yike's here saying, there's a pink ward there, Mickey, go face check that bush, I'm ready right behind you. And there's no jungler in it, so, oh, Larson.
Larson going in, hits the E, the charm now coming out, the dash back out to safety, but Larson holds on to his ultimate. Caps forced to use his, so that's a cooldown trait in favor of Larson.
Yeah, nice mechanics from both of them there.
No, sorry, he did use his ult.
Yeah, it's an ult-full trade.
Yep.
Eric's gonna queue over this wall, so he won't get spotted on the dragon. Caps can take the pink, get a little bit of honey fruit. Nice mechanics from both. Caps dashing away, landing the charm on the back half in the shroud. So excited to see how that pans out in later fights, because Akali and Ahri, a lot of dashing around. When they're towards level 11, level 12 will be fun to watch. Malrang still level 4, trying to take his Krugs. That'll level him up, but all the meanwhile, Yike will get a dragon. Larson still trying to trade really aggressively. Mercury Tread's first item means that Caps' damage is little to none.
Yeah.
You can just kind of stand in his face, dishing out damage. If Caps uses his mana here to chunk Larson, then it's going to be even harder for him to push out the wave. So you can see he Qs the wave itself. Doesn't even bother doing damage, and then he's going to take a base.
Yeah. Larson made it through the hardest levels of this laning phase. Once that ultimate's back off cooldown, he can try to force another play. Meantime, on the bottom lane, Mickey just laying down some poke. Trimby continuing to fish for hooks here, checking in on the top side of the map. Not too bad overall for the Gragas, all things considered.
Looking at the last 2 games, this is obviously very, very slow. 7 minutes in. No one's really flashed. No one's really used anything barring that level 2 gank from Malrang. Everyone's summoners are back up. And both of them have pretty good level 6 fights. Now Yike is very close to that level 6. He can get a creep here, ding over and look for a gank or some kind of setup. Maybe he suspects Malrang's around here and he wants to hide in the bush. Shigenda will need to get the next wave under tower to make it crash. And I think Yike's in that middle brush. One more creep, that cannon will die, he'll get level 6. And now the setup is looking pretty juicy.
The walking forward, instant knock up, knock back. Body slam can follow, coming in from Broken Blade, trying to get out of that ulti as Shigenda now running out to safety, zooming away. He's gonna live!
He is going to live. Yike's Q's up now. He needs to charge the Q. Broken Blade needs to tank.
Body slam forward with the flash, finishing the kill. First blood and a little bit of a coming out on that emo.
Larson's got the blast cone, he's got the ult. Broken Blade knows he's around here. Barrel will slow him down. Larson knows it's in there because of the Ghost Power, so he tries to dash. He has to flash ult here, but then Broken Blade has the body slam, so he can't commit for it. will have to catch the wave. Caps will push in mid, and they'll lose a couple creeps in there. He needs to fix his top wave, help his top laner out.
And well-executed gank on the top side for G2, ultimately able to grab that kill, burning a bit more resources maybe than they would have liked to in the form of Broken Blade's flash, but taking Shigenda down a notch there, shutting him down at least a little bit here in this early game.
Herald's up. That's a Vi ult on cooldown. Gragas hasn't based yet. Larsen's ready to fight. He has still got access to that ultimate, so Koi are saying, well, let's force it. If G2 want to fight this without their ults, let's have it. But yeah, Yike's gonna base. Makes a lot of sense. They've got the first dragon. Maybe start stacking those up. Drop all top side pressure. Let them push out. Give Broken Blade a base. And then start focusing on the spot side of the map. I think they'll be very happy with that trade. So we'll see how Koi uses this Herald. Of course, their late game insurance is always going to be comp on the Sivir. But Mickey's getting close to that level 6. Shigenda has no flash. That could be some kind of opening if Mickey can find a roam timer up towards the top side.
Yep. Landry coming out, Trimby getting Malrang back to his own jungle, up the jungle clear speed here. Larsen left unattended on the top side and the back end of that play, so we'll get a plate back. And the gold dead even. Really the only difference at this stage is going to be the Herald versus the Dragon. And as you highlighted, just have to see where Koi want to put that. Breaking up in mid also wouldn't feel too bad in a game like this.
Agreed. Bot crab's up, and Mickey's going to spot that out. That'll be a nice camp for Malrang to pick up. His ult's coming off cooldown too, so the first plate will pick up there for Hansen. Mickey trying to keep this bot push. Trimby's lane assignment's a bit weird right now for Koi. Of course, you've got the Kennen mid. You really want the Akali there. Need to swap up here, Shigenda, but he wants to catch this wave. A bit frustrating for Larsen because he loses a wave if he doesn't go top right now. But they're going to have to swap that up no matter what. Yikes gets spot on vision, gets that crab, has red buff up, 1 minute 40 seconds on the dragon. I think that's what, like I said earlier, they've got their eyes on.
Yep. And a lot of potential burst damage could come in here from this G2 bottom lane between the J4 rotation as well as the Varus. So Comp, while he has the cleanse, while he has the spell shield, Trimby going to be very vulnerable, did not go Aftershock, which, you know, to be fair, Thresh hasn't gone in a very long time, but is not incredibly tanky, all things considered.
Koi looking for a fight here, I think. Trimby gonna place the pink down. Malrang doesn't get spotted. Mickey wants to contest that pink. E down, gives vision, sees Malrang. Says the jungler's bot side. He has that Herald, so any kind of opening in bot is perfect for Malrang to place that down, but G2 not giving an inch, waiting for their jungler. Larsen was trading really aggressively in mid. A little bit of an experience lead for him. Is first into the river. Yike trying to get information in this tri-bush. Malrang's on a face check.
Malrang gonna get hit here. The combo has to come through if they want to burn through Malrang, but Malrang already propping one half of the ult, and immediately Koi confidently taking the fight. Hanzo gonna try to fire one back, the flash out to safety. Hanzo get one in exchange, but a 2-for-1 in favor of Koi.
Nice roam from Larsen. He knew that bush was a little bit dangerous. Called Malrang to face check it. He's right behind him. He ends up dying, yes, but 2 kills over to Koi. We'll be back towards mid. Lost the wave for it. Trimby.
Hanzo will connect.
Yes,
That's the Lantern now bringing him back. He's trapped in the box, and Comp can just take this one easy peasy. Koi bot lane.
That's a big kill, isn't it, onto the Sivir. We'll get the wave in, start getting a bit of a lead here. That Sivir is going to be a nightmare for G2 to deal with later on with that spell shield, with summoners, with the Thresh, and the amount of dive that Koi have. It's going to be a bit hard to manage them through the fight. So yeah, Malrang face checks knowing that they could be in this bush. Double knock up. Larsen comes in. Mickey tries to escape after they use their initial damage, but Larsen then R2's over the wall. Flash hook from Trimby misses. Flash away from Hans. And that was where he lost that summoner spell, to which Trimby punished a little bit later on. Shigenda and Broken Blade trading ults up towards his top side. I expect Broken Blade probably, you know, knocked him into look for the body slam, and the ult had to be used to disengage, but that doesn't matter because Koi are swapping. They're setting their Sivir Thresh up here. Malrang has the Herald, so now it's a...
Caps already burned the charm. Oh, on the edge there.
Larsen, good pressure on this Akali. We talk of Larsen as this mage player, but right now he's very active in this game. Tries to roam top to cover the gank. Every time the camera pans towards mid, he's winning out on these trades. So now here comes the race. G2 know that they need to get these plates. Varus has got a little bit of attack speed from the build. Does Shigenda roll the dice here? Yike could be in that brush, but he's also could be on Drake, and Shigenda's taking that 50-50 to try to get a little bit of this wave.
Oh, on the dragon, though.
You guessed right. Dragon's dead. Herald will be placed top now, though. I think there's a world where Koi could maybe go for 2 towers if they keep showing bot, or if they overforce a dive onto Shigenda. Larsen's TP's up in 5 seconds. That'll cover the bot dive if they want to go for it. So Vi queued over the wall there on the minimap, so Yike stashed over. He's in the tri-bush. Does Shigenda want to stay? Can Larsen TP in and save him? 2 plays happening here on the cross maps.
Dive for dive. Broken Blade now needs to make his way out. Tries to flash.
He needs to get that
Herald on
Herald
the hook, but is forced to flash.
Oh, it's going to hit, isn't it?
Herald is going to connect here, so big damage onto the tower, but there's no wave to follow up now. Shigenda going to make it out from the dive.
Broken Blade's ult's up soon, but I think Koi wants to keep going here. They see the bot lane bots. They saw Yike as well. Larsen can cover any kind of bot play. Caps has already used the TP as well, but yeah, the Gragas has good wave clear. See if Larson wants to... No, he TP's mid. Maybe I thought, you know, he could TP bot here, play with G2 a bit. He is quite strong on this Akali. It's going to take him a while to still get that, but it's going to be Shigenda TPing in instead. He has the ult up in 5, and G2, I don't think they can stay around any longer.
Nope. And of course had that window of opportunity because of the trade of ults on the top side of the map. But both teams really taking advantage of the fact that neither the Gragas nor the Kennen had ult to kind of push for a little bit more. The difference, of course, Koi had the Herald. And that's going to net them a little bit of a gold advantage here. Ultimately, though, that Herald, when all is said and done, 700 gold, maybe more. Yes, taking down a tower. Yes, having that pressure point on the map. But G2 still up 2 Drakes, something that has to be respected, especially because this time around it's an Ocean. That's the soul that does matter and is going to feel pretty impactful in a game like this.
It's going to be very, very messy team fights, isn't it? Kennen, Wukong, Akali trying to get on top of a Gragas Vi, who are also going in the Jarvan. It's kind of like the AD carries have to fend for themselves, where a Tribby can peel and Mickey goes in is the only alternative.
Yes.
So I think when there's a dragon fight, the first person to go in, it's just going to be an absolute explosion of ults. See if they can find any flanks.
Yeah, and one of the big things is Hansama does have exhaust, which is going to count a lot as he gets dove on later in the game. But Sivir, yes, on hit Varus, if he has the space to maneuver, is very hard to out-damage, but Sivir is the OG hyperscaling AD carry. Is Mickey overstaying there, trying to get a bit of vision down. The second ulti gonna come out. He goes golden. Comp just waiting. The hook gonna come in. Flash out to safety, but Comp hits him with a boomerang blade anyway. There will be no safety this time around. The Chomp hitting onto Comp. Now immediately they're gonna get the fight kicked off, but it is Yike in no man's land. He's not getting anything done. G2 now trying to turn. G2 now trying to clash, but there's Larson on the backside. The Akali waiting. Has to hold his breath, has to make sure these cooldowns count. Now looking to finish off Hansama. Immortal Shield Bow will not be enough. Broken Blade now next on the list is Koi. Monstering G2 on the bottom side of the map, taking their time here. Shigenda just looking to set up the stun. Berlin coming alive for Koi.
Larson wants it. He's under the tower, 1 versus 5. Malrang needs to drop the aggro. They need to let it reset onto the cannon. Broken Blade has the body slam to work with. Mickey's quite close, but yeah, he goes down. Mickey misses the combo. Maybe he dies here.
Mickey, no, he's gonna get one back, and that's gonna be big. That's at least a little bit of gold in return. Mickey trying desperately to survive. Boomerang Blade back in. It's gonna hit him. Larson gonna take a bit of poke in exchange, but overall, Koi, massive fight. Instantly 3K, almost 4K now in the lead.
That is game deciding. Broken Blade investing the TP, trying to help his team out. Mickey greeting for a little bit of vision there. Nice punish by Malrang. I don't think he expected there to be a Wukong in that Barsh, and when he used the E, he can't really flash out, pops the stopwatch, and then G2 tried to take the fight anyway. They tried to salvage a losing play, so we'll see this again. Malrang hiding in the brush. He sees Mickey E, and he knows that he has to go for this. Waits for him to get close to the wall, and then pops the ult again, knowing that he can't flash here. Stopwatch comes in, but watch this hook. The Q from Comp gets Mickey, even though he flashes to the left. Yike gets slowed, gets chunked to half. Broken Blade TP's in, so it's 3 from the top side, 1 from the bot. Comp spell shields, cleanses out on the Chomp. Q flash from Yike misses, and now he's all alone on top of 4. The Kennen ult doing work. Tribby trades off, but then Larson comes from behind. Caps only has 1 tick left, goes towards the left side. Malrang manages to pick up that kill. Broken Blade can't find a single target, and Hans has no one left to peel for him. Broken Blade eventually dies. Mickey gets 1 back, and now hook goes wide. Caps
Fishing. Charm not going to connect. Desperate to finish off Trimby here. Sidestep on the ult from Hansama is big. G2 now need to retreat. They've burned a lot of relevant ultimates here.
Herald's up. Malrang does a lot of damage, doesn't he? With the Sunder. Herald's up. Does G2 really want to fight this? They just lost the Ahri ult. They lost the Varus ult. Charge of the Q is going to go over the wall. Maybe they're looking for Shigenda. No flash on him. Yike has the ult if they want to lock him down. That should be an easy kill, perhaps. No stopwatch either. Broken Blade's there to make sure.
Ulti, he can try to buy as much time as possible. The rest of his team tries to get something done in the mid lane. Shigenda now needs to get away, but the Q will connect. A kill. A takedown now as Caps is going to grab that one. Mid lane going to break in favor of Koi, however.
Going to get that mid tower. Maybe they can collapse up here. There's no tower on that top side. Can Larson stop any bases?
Rocket ball
the Rocket Ball's got 2.
Where is he going to go? Where are they going to side? They're both splitting. Caps now running. But he's running into no man's land. He's running into Koi territory. He can clear the wave and accept his fate. On the hunt, burned. Cap's going to get the charm, but there's not a lot left here to get taken out.
He's going to go down, but look at Hans on the minimap. He's saying, well, my mid laner's going to die. Maybe I can solo out Drake here. As much as Yike might be on the top side, G2 are screaming for a cross map. Bot tower, Drake, anything. They have about a 15 to 20 second time window where Koi needs to catch midwave and move back down towards this bot side. Shigenda doesn't have TP. You can see everyone just gravitating down here. Can G2 get it? No wave for the tower. Should be an easy pickup. We'll see if Koi responds with the Heralds or if they try to collapse and find some kills off the back of this objective. I think G2 should be safe enough to get out.
And at the end of the day, this is G2's last out, is this Ocean Drake, is this Ocean Soul.
Yeah.
It's a 2.3k gold lead for the Sivir on the enemy team, and you saw what happened in the previous fight. Caps burned everything, Yike burned everything. They still could not kill Comp.
Ooh, they're overloading bots here. Maybe looking for Shigenda again. Stops on the recalls coming through. Hans is going to cancel the recall. Yike's here, Mickey's here, and Koi expect all of them to have based by now, but Malrang's on the cover. It's a 2v4 in a tower.
Lock up on a Broken Blade. What's the call going to be? TP now being burned. They're looking to isolate and lock down Malrang. Malrang using the second spin here. They're going to take out the jungler of Koi. They're going to take down the tower. Now Caps is on the hunt. Caps whipping on the charm is going to be big, but there comes the knock of a G2. Signs of life on the bottom side of the map as they take a tower and 2 kills.
Catching Koi off guard. G2 went for the dragon. 30 seconds where they're all in fog of war. Koi made the gamble. Probability says they probably based to try to retake topside and push out mid, but no, they overstayed. They lost a couple creeps for it, but they managed to make a play happen. They get the tower, they get 2 kills. Lost nothing in response other than Caps' TP. Should be in time to catch his top wave, and now Koi can't do the Herald either. They might be able to do it now, actually. So much vision on this top side. Comp could try and solo it out with Trimby. Again, that has the teleport, so that objective is on the cards, but it looks like they don't want to go for it just yet. Need to get that mid push at the moment. All the respawns coming through.
It's going to slow down Koi a little bit, have to rethink, have to make sure that they're still making the right calls in this game. It's a classic G2 maneuver. Part of the reason why they're a terrifying team to play against, even when they're at a deficit, is that they're willing to sacrifice lanes. They're willing to overload a side lane and do something that you might not expect. But Koi, very much still in control of this game. First to set up on the Herald. They've got control, they've got mid lane push. That's going to be big. G2 haven't even broken Koi's mid lane tier 1 tower yet. They've only broken the bot lane tier 1, so Koi has so much passive control over the map right now, so many tools to stop G2 from entering the pit, and that means second Herald of the game will go to them. 3 minutes and 15 seconds till Ocean Soul is on the cards for G2. Koi need to be in total control of the map.
Charm's going to go wide, Hook's going to go wide. Caps on his Ahri. Normally you see Spellbook Ahri, Everfrost Banshees. He's going full damage, Glass Cannon. Ludens into Rabadons or Shadow Flame. Will be a threat onto Comp, but his flash just came back up. Yike on towards his bot side again. It looks like they've tried to isolate out Shigenda a couple times now. Looking once more, but he's very close to his tier 2. You can see Trimby's hovering a little bit. Maybe if he oversteps after this wave, there's a potential for a kill, but they'll lose vision of him after the wave dies. But he's playing very, very safe, isn't he? Baron's up in 3. Has the TP, needs to be ready to respond. A little bit down in XP. Broken Blade, 1,000 gold leads. See how much he can get done in these fights as well.
And I think good heads-up play from Shigenda just to be more cautious, not only because G2 have been paying him so much attention, but oftentimes when Kennen is in the meta, what is so important when playing against him is just to get him to burn his ult in a non-team fight scenario, so when the next fight comes around, even if he's behind in gold, you've made that major ability no longer a threat, no longer an issue, because yes, Shigenda's behind in itemization, yes, his scoreline is not great, but a level 11 Kennen, 2 points in that ultimate, can still do so much damage if he finds a flank.
It really can, and I think these last few minutes of sequence in the last game, I feel like Koi have basically decided if they're not sure where they are, they're probably there, is the way they're playing against G2. Everyone's playing really safe on sides. You can see they looked for Shigenda, now they're looking for Larson. Very similar story to last game. And it's only when they have the pushing waves and they can match these numbers that they'll feel confident. Alright. They're just going to look for a Yike there.
Yeah, maybe just try to get a bit of damage down. And I think the big difference, too, is that while Koi are once again in the driver's seat, similar to Game 2, is that G2 have a bit more agency to fight back, which means it's that much more important for Koi to give them that bit of respect.
You can see how safe they are. Look at Shigenda. He's still next at tier 2 despite showing Mickey, Caps, and Yike up towards this top side. Herald comes down. They just want to get this tower, get 600 gold. Does G2 engage?
Something. Mickey on the backside, they're just immediately going to get taken out. A lot of damage, but they're not quite going to finish it. Yes, they are! Just gone in the blink of an eye. So much damage from that Divine Sunder or Wukong.
Tower's gone down as well. A lot of gold into Larson. They have TP on Shigenda ready. They could look for some kind of Baron start, but they used a couple of ultimates to get that kill. No need to rush it. 1 minute on the Dragon. If you overstay on this Baron and G2 push you off towards the top side, they can beeline towards that Dragon and rush it down. Cap's trying to stop some bases here, buy some time for the rest of G2. Mickey up in 8 seconds. Needs to get on towards this bot side, place some wards down. This is a position for Koi where they can say, we're actually just going to go Baron. You can deny our soul, but we're going to pick that up. So we'll see how they dissect the map, because they're AD and support are moving up towards this top side. Could be just a bit of smoke and mirrors here. Red buffs up. Should be putting a little bit of sneaky vision down. G2 should be aware that they can look for a trade of objectives here for the Baron. Ooh, hook over. Just going to check for vision. There's a blue orb there. They can't sneak it.
Taking out the vision of G2, making sure they're doing their due diligence, making sure they're not giving anything up. TP down to the bottom side for Caps. Ready to contest this Drake. 24 seconds. Mowering in the darkness. Mowering waiting. Uses the clone to make it out to safety. Broken Blade can body slam forward, but he won't take the risk. Shigenda, level 12, has the ultimate, has the stopwatch. Is going to be a big problem for G2 if they can't keep their eyes on him.
Koi want to fight this. G2 want to fight this. Hiding in the bush. They have a pink. If Mowering gets hit by a charm here,
Charm
baits
is
it
going
out.
to be big, but clean from Mowering. Now needs to walk away. Good upfront burst damage, trying to finish off the jungler. Caps now dashing out of safety. Broken Blade needs to get out of dodge as well. Hansam on the backside for now untouched. So many of the cooldowns burned. Yike off to the side. Mickey on the backside. Koi getting chipped away at.
It's very chaotic, isn't it? Varus ult down, Ahri ult down, the Akali ult was used. It's Shigenda and Larson you need to keep your eyes on, but now Larson is a lot weaker. G2 have control around the pits. Shigenda is Koi's threat right now. If they can get a ward in that pit, he could look to flash over onto the rest of G2.
Around. Trimby flash forward on the hook. He is going to connect to the Broken Blade, and that is massive. That could be fight deciding, but now there's a TP in the middle of the pit. They're trying to turn and burn. Yike throwing out the ultimate caps. Taken out. Koi coming together as a death ball to decimate G2 around the pit. They take away the dragon, and now G2, they've overcommitted. They've overstayed their welcome. The shuriken flip will not connect, but here comes Trimby over the wall. The hex flash in. Mickey knows it's now or never. He has to turn, but there is nothing left for G2 in the fight. The ultimate from McKinnon. Malrank to finish a double for Comp and an ace for Koi.
5 for 0. We'll see if they can get an objective off of that. 10 seconds on Yike's respawn. Shigenda's pushing out bot and has TP. I don't think they can get a Baron. G2 stopped the soul, but the dive didn't work. I think Yike went in way too early there. G2 actually had a pretty good position after the hook to chunk out the front line of Koi. Broken Blade tries to body slam away from it. It looks bad initially, but Hans is free hitting, getting some damage down, but Yike goes so deep. Caps flashes in thinking, well, this is our only choice, this is your only option. If you used ult, I have to follow up, but I don't have ult. So I'll flash Q, see if you can get the kill. Turns out they cannot, and then it's just a 3v5, right? Koi just needs to take it really slow. Larson doesn't have the ult, just push them back, sandwich them, and there's no escape for the rest of G2. 5 kills over to Koi on that Sivir. A couple picked up, Comp's only getting stronger.
And right now, at this moment, in this game state, Comp's going to back. 3rd item on the Sivir. 2, maybe a little bit of extra.
7-0-9.
I mean, that was the window of opportunity it closed on G2. They're going to get another one in 3 minutes and 45 seconds, but Koi are in total control.
Yeah.
On paper, they should win every single team fight from here on out.
So I think Koi can start to force this Nash. The only pain they have is that Scuttle Crab is down, so they have a little bit of vision to work with. Looking over the wall here, Yike. Hang on a second, he's going really deep here. Mickey is not the damage dealer you need next year. He's going on to Trimby.
They're ready to pitch for a play. G2, are they going to full commit to this, looking to burn down Trimby before anything else can happen? Cap's going to miss on the charm, and the rest of Koi now descending. Mickey trying to get out to safety, but they kind of just appear and then disappear just like that.
G2 really getting lost in the chaos, looking for a pick, looking for some way into this river. They were kind of getting choked out towards the top side. G2 going to try and look for this mid-tier 1, but Koi are going to pick up an easy Baron. Shigenda's marking the rest of the members of G2 in case they want to contest. I think with this Baron, they can start to threaten G2's base, start to break open that mid and bot tier 2, and then play for this next dragon. They're waiting for Trimby. Get 5 Baron buffs, why not?
Trimby. Ooh. I mean,
friendship.
I'm just blown away. Right
oh,
now.
wait, he smite. I'm not sure if did Trimby get it? I hope he got it. On the right side, it looked like he was 1 second away from respawn. He did get it.
He did get it.
So 5-man Baron buffed up. Koi.
Look.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, I am very impressed. I was not sure what to think. Koi were coming off a 2-game losing streak at the end of the regular season. They came into this series, game 1, I was like, it's done. It's over. But game 2, they weathered the storm of G2's more creative drafts. And game 3, they've just been better. Malrank, a monster in games 2 and 3. Shigenda, a monster in games 1 and 2. Comp and Trimby really showing up in this game 3. And Larson, pretty consistent throughout, outside of the game 1. So this is a team that I think we kind of have to remind ourselves every once in a while that they are that force to be reckoned with, because they have had these bouts of inconsistency.
Yeah.
But this is the team you need to show up against, because this team, G2, were the expected favorites for so many people, but now Koi are so handedly dismantling them.
I mean, I think Koi are just a threat in the best of series. If you just took that game 1 and it was a best of 1, you'd say G2 is probably one of the best teams in the league, and Koi are struggling throughout the rest of the split, right? Put it into a best of 3. Koi find their footing. They managed to deal with G2's draft in game 2, and then they play very reserved and calm, and they know their win conditions well. No mistakes, Barry, from Koi. It's only Shigenda that was targeted so much by the rest of G2, and now the push comes in. Comes on towards this bot side, trying to get these waves stacked up. See if they can threaten a base break. It's really hard because Shigenda doesn't really want to show. Trimby's kind of playing Lantern for Comp to walk up, and Caps and Hans are hiding around the corner to look for Comp if he oversteps. No flash on that Sivir, so Mickey can lock him up in the Jarvan ultimate. I think Trimby does need to play Lantern. Does G2 pull the trigger here?
Waiting for an opportunity. Shigenda is not there. Mickey gets hooked. Mickey goes golden. He finally has the hourglass, but now it's Hansama on the backside. Hansama has no life. Hansama has no room to play. Finally, they'll take down Malrank. No! He's just been knocked into the backline, and Malrank gets the kill. The Gragasol betrays the team, and now Shigenda leaping in, but he's left a little bit too far. Goes golden in the final moments, uses the stopwatch to get away from the charm, and Yike desperate to do anything, but that is it. They are done. They are dusted. Koi have taken down the favorites in this league. Koi have moved up. Koi will face BDS tomorrow for a chance in the best of 5s. Game 1 was rocky, but game 2 and 3 belongs to Koi, and they have dominated G2 in the match today.
Fantastic showing in the match of the week. Trimby's looking for some spawn kills, isn't he? Hook onto Mickey, doesn't get the play. They want a bit more blood, don't they? Don't want to end it just yet. They're looking for the next hook. Is it going to land? He thought that he'd Q to the... Oh, he did Q to it, but he's going to die. And Comp is legendary. Outstanding performance from him. What a bounce back for Koi. G2 maybe back to the drawing board. I feel like when these early leads don't come through, it becomes a very, very tough game. And yeah, Koi's map movements, their prediction of G2's movement around sides and how they want to look for these picks. The only time they really got caught off guard was when they overloaded on that bot tower and got 2 kills. Other than that, they really couldn't find much.
Overall, yeah, I'm very impressed. I think that I was skeptical of the Lee Sin, Malrang popped off. I was skeptical of the Wukong, Malrang popped off. And I think that this is a team that, when they are playing in form, when they have a clear idea of what they want to be doing in the meta, they are such a force to be reckoned with. I like that they've got these aspects of some strong individual lane matchups like the Kennen on the top side with this reliable backbone of scaling in the form of the Sivir. It just feels like well-rounded compositions, and there are, you know, moments where a composition as limited as the G2 composition in Game 1, where it has very clear, very strong points, can break through what Koi are trying to do, but when that doesn't happen, Koi just take over the map, and damn, they look good doing it.
A little bit hairy in the early stages. You know, Malrang's going for these early ganks, trying to blow summoners. Maybe the plays could have gone a bit more in their favor because he fell behind, but I saw Larssen just trading really heavily onto caps.
Yeah.
Again, that, yeah, weathering the storm in top, and then, yeah, Comp just scaling up, getting some kills, but you can vote for your player of the series at LEC on Twitter, Malrang, Larssen, or Comp.
I don't know, it's a tough call.
I think Larssen's Lissandra was good, his Akali was really good.
And to be fair, the Silas was good, but it was very scrappy in that mid lane. That was the game where a lot of their plays just kind of didn't quite go in their favor.
Yeah, the 3v3 wasn't in their favor. They kind of naturally lost that 3v3 because of the chain CC, right?
Malrang came back in a big way in that game despite a pretty big early deficit too. It's tough. It's a tough call.
Yeah, Malrang's team. I think Malrang
Comp literally didn't get to play League of Legends in Game 1, so that's a tough one for me. Now, no discredit to his ability to play. It was just that he sat Zeri on a side lane and the game was over before he could do anything.
Yeah, I think Malrang's kind of creativity around the mid game and just sitting in brushes was great.
Yeah, fantastic to see. Well, that's enough from us. Let's head on down to Trimby and Frankie to hear more about that series.
Thank you very much, Trimby. I think there might be a few teams watching right now taking notes. So how do you dismantle a team like G2?
Come on. I mean, G2 didn't do that well in regular split, and we didn't do as well. So even though it was match of the week, it was not like best of the best teams, right? And yeah, G2 is a great opponent to play against. They're crazy in drafts. They do a lot of good things in game that just makes your game just hard, basically. And yeah, that's how it goes versus them.
But you beat them in Malmo and you beat them in the regular season. So there's something about Koi that takes down G2.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's going better and better. And yeah, it feels like versus them specifically, we get to actually fight them back in a sense, where before we would kind of just give them, you know, what they want, just like not really fight it, kind of scale. And now we're actually trying to like contest, which, you know, is good because we also learn from that. And yeah, we're doing better and better, actually fighting together and making sure we are having either advantages or we're not falling too much behind because of them forcing.
How was your confidence in the series? Because when you were playing Leona in that first game, they were targeting you and you had a tough time. And then over the course of the series, you came alive, Trimby. So talk to me about
my Leona game. I think my Leona game was like one of the better ones too. I feel like I was doing a lot of good stuff anyway, because I think if I didn't do that stuff, that game would be really lost fast. And yeah, you know, when you play Leona and you don't die, it's kind of grief. And if you die, you look like a griefer, but that's just how it goes, sadly. But yeah, other 2 games, I was set up also well in the draft. But yeah, I had like picks that I knew I would perform regardless. And even though I was not too confident, because yeah, things were not going too great lately, I still think that I put on a good show. And yeah, overall, my team was playing really well.
So now you're becoming a team that's a group stage team rather than a regular season king, I guess. Talk to me about the matchup against BDS tomorrow.
Wow, they're the team that just, yeah, plays good League of Legends, I would say. Like, they're drafting well, like for their priorities. They do a lot of good stuff in game, and yeah, seems like they're like one of the teams, you know, that it's not easy to contest and like win against, because they always, even though they fall behind, they somehow always get a chance to come back, I would say.
But very quickly, do they play better League of Legends than you?
Well, I think we can beat them, so let's just figure it out tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah, why not? Let's figure it out tomorrow, as the man says.
We have to, yeah.
Well, right now, let's send it over to the post-game lobby, because Law and Goldborg will be there to greet you.
Thank you.
game. Am I going back again the same way? Maybe their style just doesn't appeal to me. I don't think we've been here. I think we have been here, but we're going back to the button now. What? There's a way to loop around on your... Excuse me. Wait, I came from here though, right? It's so extremely hard to know where to go. They did the Backrooms 1998. Okay, I didn't really enjoy that game. That game was good. Okay, never mind that. Because that game was genuinely solid. I genuinely have no idea where to go. I feel like somehow it's impossible not to go in circles here. Excuse me, where the fuck? This way. This gotta be a... That's where I came from, right? Oh, this is the door, I see. Already 1947 or something? 1947, I think. Yes. Okay, nice. What the hell? Yeah, these sections are pretty cool. I just wish, like, it was more of this rather than, like, because now I feel like I guess it's just desynthesized. The jump scares don't work anymore because you have done like 50 random jump scares. That means like these earned jump scares don't scare me anymore because I've gone into apathetic mode. This is something I always say.
Fuck. Run. Shit, run.
Oh, uh-oh. Like, horror games are only scary if you allow yourself to be scared. It's so easy to not be scared by horror games. Like, there's genuinely nothing scary about a horror game because it's just a game, right? But if you allow yourself to be immersed, it gets scary. That's what makes it scary. So if you force the player to get out of that experience, it kind of ruins the whole thing. I don't know. Did we make it? Did we make it to the facility?
That was close.
Oh.
Shit.
Aha! Okay.
Drop
I
the
like this
scanner.
way more. These environments are way cooler. Okay, so now we're back in the other spaceship.
Professor Brian?
Let me guess. This is
Lisa.
gonna be fucking novel.
Anyone?
I couldn't care less.
Oh no. Base 2 has also been breached.
Alright.
I don't think anyone is alive.
All of these doors
I
are
don't
blocked.
think anyone made it here. Oh god.
I mean, there were people in here, right? Open the door. All of these doors need keycards, though. I mean, I do have a keycard, right? Oh, my keycard works here too. Nice. What the fuck? Is this the void? What the hell is this?
Oh god. The base is also dissolving into the gloom.
That
Better
is...
hurry up.
That's cool. Like, that's really cool. Like, having, like, the worlds collide upon each other. All they... Literally, like, kind of all they needed to do was get rid of the random jump scares that really, like, made me just, like, not respect the game anymore because it was so cheap. And they needed to make the gloom areas look way more otherworldly than they actually were because they just looked like regular... They had to be shorter areas, so it was less tedious to walk around in them. Make them look more alien, so it actually feels realistic that it is a different planet. I guess this game is early access, so some review or some like feedback will be very valuable.
This one's still working, but it's missing some components.
Oh my god, what is this?
It's missing pod canisters. Shit. Maybe I should look around.
Because I do think the effect is kind of cool. It's a really cool... I think this idea of the game is actually genuinely awesome.
Oh,
Like having
the base is also dissolving into the gloom. I better hurry up.
Oh. Like having a kind of dimension you cannot really like a 4D dimension that gets converted into 2D using or into 3D using that scanner. That would be really sick. But it didn't look like another dimension at all. It just kind of looked like your average Walmart. Is this not where we came from? Oh, yes. The ideas here are very solid. We already came from here, right? Or wait, yes? What the fuck? Do I just need to interact with these? I guess I can go around here. I need to go in here? Can't place a pod canister. Requires a pod canister in order to place it. Okay, where do we go? Where's my red footsteps when we... Oh, here? No. I've already used this. Is there a way to get around this? Like, why can't we walk into this and use our scanner? Can we do that? Why not? Why can't we? I genuinely don't understand. Why can't I use my scanner? Like, huh? Like, that would be so cool. Have, like, both worlds collide where... Oh, the scanner broke? Oh, okay. But that would be really... I mean, I guess it would also kind of break the illusion that it is a special universe, but it would be cool to, like, kind of combine them somehow. That'd be very... Oh, this... Okay, here we go. Uh-huh. See? Range scanner device. Wait! There we go! That's exactly what... See? They have good ideas. They just gotta rework some stuff. I like that. Nice. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we need to collect 6 of that. What's this? Odd cat. Oh, another one? They heard me. Live hotfix. This was just another scanner. Okay. I hear some walking around there. Oh, just there's some guy there. And obviously they also need to make the voice logs a lot, or the text logs like 10 times shorter. It's way too long. Oh boy, this guy's gonna get me. He after me? Oh, come on. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Nope, 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 nope. Is he gonna run into this world? Can he come here? I'm guessing he can. Oh, you can use it in here too. Look at that. Oh. Okay, so we have how many? We only have 4. That's not good enough, but I guess we can go into the other one. The other void. Okay, so go into this void. Right, there was one more over... No, wait, this is how we... Oh, wait, that's how we went in. This is how... Okay, so we gotta find them more in there. We just need to avoid this monster. Oh, boy. There's one. And then there's gonna be one more in the other room. Oh, shoot there. One more here. Nothing. Oh, there? No, that's just a hiding spot. There you are. Hey, day. What's up? Okay, now we need to get the hell out of here somehow. Excuse me? Because that was also... Trenches was very similar. Where it has a really cool atmosphere, but then they just start spamming jump scares non-stop, and it just completely ruined the experience for me. I think this dev doesn't know. Like, he's too YouTube pilled. He's too YouTube pilled. He's watched too many YouTubers go, ah, oh, ah! That sells, but like I kind of respect myself a little too much to fucking like evolve into a YouTube monkey who just screams all the time. I get it. Like, I know there's people that don't fake it, that like genuinely get scared by everything. I just don't know how they do it.
Finally coming home.
Oh boy. Can I go in here? Escape pod? Click the button? I save. I thought I was going in here. Oh. I thought this was a save computer. Nice stairway. And let me guess, it's gonna be... oh. Uh-oh. Gotta go fast.
Ready for takeoff. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If there was some kind of disease, why aren't we infected, by the way? Because everyone else turned into, like, monsters, right? How did we... why were we immune from that? I don't really understand the story. Out of the 8 crewmates that were sent out to study the mysterious unexplained void on the planet filled with darkness called Tenebris, only one made it back home to Earth safely. Francesca Lee, a 39-year-old former astronomer, was the only survivor that made it back alive. Her son was the motivation for her returnal and what kept her pushing forward. Here's plot armor. I mean, obviously that's the end. Oh, never mind.
Hello? If you can hear me, do not leave this planet. Do not return back to Earth.